Some people have pretty dramatic vocation stories, I have to say. Mine was a much longer process of discovering what I eventually realized was God's calling. God's calling me to the priesthood. The second year I was at Iowa State, I really began to grow in my faith. A number of young men in my dorms were so focused on their faith and so dedicated to Christ that it was a real awakening for me. People my age, interested in their faith, interested in reading the Bible, interested in God. These were such daily and important things to them that I couldn't help but be affected by it. And you're also asking yourself at the same time, what do I want to do with my life?
It was clear that he was searching. And he vocalized this. He said, I really want to do something that makes a difference in people's lives.
He was really searching and felt that what he was in, it was not really what he wanted to do. And I said, are you sure God's not trying to tell you something? I said, do you ever think about priesthood?
I remember my response, which was kind of, I think I pretended to be shocked or surprised or something like that. I'd had people mention it to me before, a few times. You know, you would make a good priest. Okay, thanks, but no thanks. Oftentimes we don't see ourselves in certain ways, and other people see things in us that we have no idea. But when people start to say it to you, and when they encourage you to keep going, to be strong and to listen to the Lord, then there's a lot of peace that comes from that, and a lot of security, and a lot of joy that comes from it too.
Well, I was excited for him, you know, as soon as he told us about it. It was a very exciting thing for us. I think I'm in awe of the responsibility that he has. I just can't even imagine, you know, what he does day in and day out.
Well, I remember one of my friends did want to know, does this mean you can't date anymore? You know, can you date when you're in seminary? You know what? I guess I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask when I get there. But I was pretty sure that I probably wouldn't be. Priests are some of the most well-rounded people that I know, actually. And that makes them also some of the most interesting people to be with. And they're also a lot of fun. For me, my time in the seminary had picked up a greater love of sport. You know, love to play golf with friends. Don't do it near enough to get good at it, but we have a good time whenever we go out there. Family calls me Nick.
He's just Nick.
You know, to me, he's Nick.
I don't think I've ever called him Father Nick.
If they called me Father, I think I would kind of do a double take. You know, I'll answer the phone here. This is Father Nick. And then once my friend's calling, there's kind of this awkward pause. But, you know, they know it's me, and so a lot of times they'll give me a hard time about it. You know, perceive myself to be very ordinary, and to have very ordinary gifts, and to have very ordinary problems and struggles too. And so to face up to those and say, no, in spite of all that, and in the midst of all of that, I can make actually a really good priest. It's unbelievable the number of occasions I've had to be a part of people's lives in some of the most important parts of their life. Providing comfort for people who are suffering a loss. Just sharing the life of the people here in the parish is so very rewarding. And it's impossible sometimes to believe it, in spite of my weakness, that they encountered Christ in their priests. But that's pretty fulfilling.
I usually find myself tearing up at some point when Nick is presiding. So, that feeling of awe. And he does a nice job.
I would say, you know, we never really know what God has in store for us. And so many of us have such exciting things, you know, ahead of us in our lives. And I think the key is to believe that God really does have some ideas, you know, for you in your life. And the key is to really, to be open to that and to be ready for that. And to be ready to be surprised by it, because you just don't know who he's going to pick, and it might be you.